Well, it's official. I just crossed the 1-year mark with the M3 Pro MacBook, and man, did it fly by. When I got this laptop, I was really looking for a kinda do-it-all device. Something that I could use for work, for entertainment, and that I could use to start this channel. And if I'm being honest, it has not disappointed. I pushed it to try and find its limits, and I tried a bunch of new software features, many of them coming with the release of macOS Sequoia. In this video, I just wanted to share my thoughts and experiences with you guys, whether or not I feel like I made the right decision in going with a Pro model, and just touch on how things like the battery and paint hold up after a year of almost daily use. But to start things off, I just want to touch on what life has been like with the 14-inch M3 Pro MacBook. This past year with this laptop has been an overall great experience. It's a powerful, portable, and reliable device that I use to get a ton of work done. I'm not sure if a single day went by where I didn't use this laptop in some capacity over the past year. I used it as my main device at work, at home, took it with me when I traveled. I pretty much used it in just about every scenario you can think of, and it handled everything with pretty much no hiccups. Now, for those of you who are curious, the MacBook that I have here is the base model 14-inch M3 Pro MacBook Pro. So this came with the 11-core CPU, 14-core GPU, 18 gigabytes of unified memory, and 512 gigs of SSD storage. Now, in terms of portability, it's been great, and I do not regret going with the 14-inch model. The screen, keyboard, and trackpad all feel big enough to where I felt like I could get my work done comfortably while not being so big that I didn't feel like I couldn't bring it with me to certain places like, say, an airplane. The only times where I wish I had the 16-inch MacBook or just like a larger screen in general was when I was editing videos or multitasking with several windows open at once. In those scenarios, I feel like the extra screen real estate would be nice just so everything fit well on my screen. But outside of that, I really don't have any issues with the size that I went with. Now, I'm going to be honest, the specs really don't change much from year to year on these newer MacBooks. You still have the SD card slot, HDMI port, 3.5mm headphone jack for high impedance headphones, MagSafe charging, Touch ID, the 1080p webcam. You still have your Liquid Retina XDR Pro motion display. For this M3 MacBook Pro, you get up to 600 nits brightness for SDR content, 1000 nits sustained brightness, and 1600 nits for HDR content. And of course, you still have your 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports. I know on the newer M4 MacBooks that's upgraded to Thunderbolt 5. The M3 MacBook Pros were also the first to introduce accelerated hardware ray tracing, but if I'm being honest with you guys, I'd be lying if I said I did anything that actually took advantage of that, but it is nice for those of you who could make use of that. Battery life on this MacBook has been great. A full charge will usually get me 2 to 3 days when I'm doing light tasks such as sending emails, browsing the web, or streaming content. And when I'm doing even more intensive tasks, I can still usually get a full day's worth of work done. I mean, even just recently, I charged my laptop on a Sunday evening getting ready for my work week, and I didn't have to plug it back in until Thursday in the afternoon when I got off of work, and I still had like 6% left. During those days, I was mostly just sending emails, doing some script writing. I was averaging between 1 and 3 hours of screen on time, so you're definitely getting some good battery life with these laptops. Also, the fast charging that you get with the MagSafe charger and the power brick is a nice added bonus. Now, for those of you who are curious about battery health, my battery is currently sitting at 96%. Now, I'm not entirely sure how many charge cycles I've had over the past year, but like I said, I've used it daily for almost a year, and 96% honestly isn't bad. I definitely can't tell a difference in performance, so I'd say it's holding up pretty well. Now, while we're on the topic of how things have aged, let's talk a little bit about the paint. Now, as some of you may remember, when this M3 MacBook Pro was launched, it was actually the first MacBook to come with the space black color. Now, as much as I love this color, obviously these darker colors come with some downsides. One of the main ones being fingerprints. Now I'm going to be honest, this space black color does not attract as many fingerprints as I thought it would. It's definitely miles better than that midnight color that came on the M2 MacBook Airs. Now that's not to say that there's no fingerprints, but it's nothing dramatic. I just periodically wipe mine down with a microfiber cloth and it's all good. I personally haven't experienced much paint chipping even around the ports where I plug it in a lot. There is some very minor chipping maybe here and there, but nothing dramatic and nothing that has really bugged me, to be honest. The only thing that's honestly bugged me about this color is the fact that you can really notice dust, especially around the speaker grills. But other than that, I love it. I think I would definitely consider getting this color again when I eventually upgrade my MacBook. Now, when I first decided to make this video, I was going to have like an entire section on Apple Intelligence, but if I'm being honest, there's not much to touch on, so we'll make this quick. Now, one feature that I've used that is actually a little helpful is the new Type to Siri, which along with the help of ChatGPT is honestly really nice, a lot more useful, and I probably used Siri more in the last 2 to 3 months than I've done in, I don't know, like my entire life up until this point. So yeah, it's not bad. I've also used the key points and summary features to get information on longer articles. And the proofread and rewrite feature is nice to make sure everything is grammatically correct and, you make sure that emails are as professional as possible. But as far as features like Genmoji, Image Playground, I can't say I'm going to be using them anytime soon, but they're there if anybody wants to. But now it's time for the big question. When I look back at this purchase, do I feel like I made the right choice? Yeah, I really think I did. I mean, ever since M1 MacBooks came out, these have been some of the most hyped laptops on the market. And with this being my first MacBook with Apple Silicon, I wanted to see if it was going to live up to the hype. And I personally think it did. Now, $2,000 is not cheap. I want to make that very clear, but I was really trying to look at this as an investment. At least that's what I tell myself. But hey, I really wanted to start this YouTube channel and learn new skills like photo editing and 3D rendering. So I really wanted to go with a laptop/OS that A, I was familiar with, and B, could handle all of the things that I wanted to get accomplished. And I can say this has definitely done that. But all in all, great laptop, great device. Don't regret my decision. Don't see myself upgrading this year or even next. I plan on holding on to this one for a little bit. And yeah, as always, if you guys have questions, leave them down in the comments. I'm going to try and get back to everybody. Have a wonderful day, and I'm going to catch y'all later. Peace.